Chapter 1. The Power of Rational Thinking. The foundation of smart decision-making. Rational thinking is the cornerstone of intelligent decision-making. It allows us to process information objectively, weigh our options carefully, and choose the best course of action without being unduly influenced by emotions or biases. While emotions play an essential role in our daily lives, unchecked emotional reactions can cloud our judgment and lead to decisions we later regret. Imagine standing at a crossroads in your career. One path leads to a stable job that pays well but doesn't excite you. The other offers a passion-driven opportunity but carries more risk. A purely emotional response might push you toward the second option, driven by excitement, while fear might pull you toward the safer choice. However, rational thinking helps you analyze the situation beyond just your immediate feelings. It enables you to consider factors like financial stability, long-term career growth, and personal fulfillment, ultimately leading to a well-informed decision. In this chapter, we will explore what rational thinking is, why it is essential for making smart decisions, and how you can begin developing this crucial skill. What is rational thinking? At its core, rational thinking is the ability to process information logically and objectively. It involves analyzing facts rather than relying on emotions or assumptions, considering multiple perspectives before making a decision, using logic to evaluate consequences and potential outcomes, separating personal biases from objective reality. Unlike impulsive decision-making, which is driven by feelings, rational thinking is deliberate and structured. It allows us to slow down, examine the situation, and make choices based on evidence rather than instinct. The two systems of thinking. Psychologists often describe the human brain as operating through two primary modes of thinking. System 1, fast, intuitive thinking. This is our automatic gut reaction thinking. It is quick and effortless but prone to errors, biases, and emotional influence. System 2, slow, analytical thinking. This is our rational and logical thinking mode. It requires effort and deliberation but leads to more accurate and informed decisions. For example, if someone cuts you off in traffic, your System 1 reaction might be anger, leading to impulsive behavior. However, if you engage System 2, you might recognize that the driver made a mistake or was in a hurry, allowing you to respond more calmly. The key to developing rational thinking is learning how to slow down System 1 and engage System 2 more frequently, especially in situations that require careful decision-making. Why rational thinking matters. The ability to think rationally impacts nearly every aspect of life, from career choices to personal relationships and financial decisions. Here are a few reasons why cultivating a rational mindset is essential. 1. Reduces impulsive and regretful decisions. Many of our worst decisions are made in moments of high emotion, whether it's saying something hurtful in anger, making an unnecessary purchase out of excitement, or quitting a job out of frustration. Rational thinking gives us the pause we need to reflect before acting, helping us avoid choices we later regret. 2. Improves problem-solving skills. Life presents us with complex challenges that require careful analysis. Rational thinking helps break down problems into smaller components, making them easier to solve. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by a difficult situation, you can approach it methodically, identifying possible solutions and their consequences. 3. Enhances decision-making under pressure. High-stakes situations, such as negotiations, financial investments, or major life decisions, require clear thinking. A rational mind enables you to assess risks and rewards calmly, ensuring that pressure does not lead you to make hasty or irrational choices. 4. Strengthens relationships. Effective communication and conflict resolution rely on rational thinking. When faced with misunderstandings or disagreements, a rational mindset helps you focus on facts rather than emotions, making it easier to navigate conflicts and find productive solutions. 5. Increases mental clarity and focus. In today's world of constant information overload, it's easy to get distracted or misled by misinformation. Rational thinking helps filter out noise, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. 6. Leads to greater personal and professional success. Successful people in business, science, and leadership consistently use rational thinking to navigate uncertainty, make strategic choices, and adapt to changing circumstances. Developing this skill can set you apart in any field. Common barriers to rational thinking. While rational thinking is an invaluable skill, several factors can interfere with our ability to think logically. Becoming aware of these barriers is the first step toward overcoming them. 1. Emotional bias. Our emotions strongly influence decision-making, often leading us to prioritize short-term satisfaction over long-term benefits. For example, a person might stay in a toxic relationship out of fear of being alone rather than considering the logical reasons for leaving. 2. Cognitive biases. Cognitive biases are mental shortcuts that lead to irrational conclusions. Some of the most common include confirmation bias, seeking out information that supports our pre-existing beliefs while ignoring opposing evidence. Anchoring bias, over-relying on the first piece of information we receive. Availability bias, giving more weight to readily available information rather than objective data. Overconfidence bias, overestimating our knowledge or ability to predict outcomes. 3. Social and peer pressure. Humans are naturally inclined to conform to societal norms. Often, people make decisions based on what others expect rather than what is truly in their best interest. 4. Information overload. With so much information available online, it's easy to become overwhelmed, leading to decision fatigue and irrational choices. Learning to filter out irrelevant data is key to rational thinking. 5. Fear of uncertainty. Many people struggle with decision-making because they fear making the wrong choice. However, uncertainty is a part of life. Rational thinking helps you navigate uncertainty with confidence by focusing on probability rather than fear. How to strengthen rational thinking. Rational thinking is like a muscle. It gets stronger the more you use it. Here are some strategies to develop this skill. 1. Practice the pause. Before making an important decision, take a moment to pause. Ask yourself, am I acting based on emotion or logic? What are the potential short-term and long-term consequences? What additional information do I need before deciding? This brief pause can prevent you from making rash choices and encourage a more thoughtful approach. 2. Seek out evidence-based information. When forming an opinion or making a choice, rely on factual data rather than hearsay or emotions. Consult reputable sources and cross-check information before reaching conclusions. 3. Challenge your assumptions. Make it a habit to question your own beliefs and decisions. Ask yourself, what evidence supports this belief? Could I be wrong? What alternative perspectives exist? By challenging your assumptions, you open yourself up to more objective thinking. 4. Use the pros and cons method. List out the advantages and disadvantages of each decision. Seeing the trade-offs on paper can help clarify which option aligns best with your goals. 5. Think long-term. Shift your focus from immediate gratification to long-term outcomes. Before making a decision, ask, how will this choice affect me a year from now? 6. Surround yourself with logical thinkers. Engage with people who value logic, critical thinking, and evidence-based discussions. Being around rational individuals helps reinforce a culture of thoughtful decision-making. 7. Develop a structured decision-making process. Create a step-by-step approach for making important decisions. This could include identifying the problem, gathering all relevant information, considering multiple solutions, weighing pros and cons, making a decision based on logic, evaluating the outcome and learning from it. Chapter 2. Challenging Assumptions and Beliefs. Breaking free from mental barriers. Our decisions are often shaped by deeply ingrained beliefs, assumptions, and experiences that we rarely question. These mental shortcuts help us navigate the world, but they can also create blind spots that limit our ability to think rationally. To make smarter decisions, we must challenge our assumptions, examine our belief systems, and ensure that our choices are grounded in reality rather than outdated or irrational thought patterns. Imagine a person who has always believed they are bad at math because of one negative experience in school. Over the years, this assumption prevents them from pursuing careers or opportunities that require analytical skills, even though they may have the potential to excel. Similarly, someone raised to believe that money is the root of all evil may subconsciously avoid financial success, making choices that limit their earning potential. Challenging these ingrained assumptions is essential for personal growth, better decision-making, and unlocking new possibilities in life. In this chapter, we will explore why assumptions form, how they influence our thinking, and practical strategies for questioning them effectively. Why do we rely on assumptions? Assumptions are mental shortcuts that help us make quick decisions. They serve an important function in daily life, allowing us to interpret situations efficiently without analyzing every detail. However, these shortcuts can also lead to flawed thinking when they are based on incomplete, outdated, or incorrect information. Here are some of the key reasons we rely on assumptions. 1. Cognitive efficiency. Our brains are designed to conserve mental energy. Instead of analyzing every new situation from scratch, we rely on past experiences and established beliefs to make quick judgments. This is useful in many situations, but can lead to errors when applied to complex or unfamiliar problems. 2. Social conditioning. Many of our core beliefs come from societal norms, cultural influences, family values, and peer expectations. From an early age, we absorb these beliefs without questioning them. While some of these beliefs may be beneficial, others can limit our ability to think independently and critically. 3. Emotional comfort. Challenging assumptions can be uncomfortable. Our beliefs form part of our identity, and questioning them can feel unsettling. As a result, we often cling to familiar assumptions because they provide a sense of security and stability. 4. Past experiences. If something happened a certain way in the past, we assume it will happen that way again. While experience can be a valuable teacher, it can also lead to generalizations that are not always accurate. For example, just because you had a negative experience in one relationship doesn't mean all relationships will follow the same pattern. 5. Fear of change. People often resist questioning their beliefs because it may require them to change their mindset or behavior. If someone has always believed that success requires a college degree, they may overlook alternative paths to success, even in fields where self-education or entrepreneurship can lead to great achievements. How assumptions influence decision-making. Assumptions impact nearly every aspect of our lives, from the way we interpret information to the choices we make in our personal and professional lives. Here's how they affect decision-making. 1. Limiting opportunities. Believing that certain options are impossible or not for people like me can prevent us from exploring valuable opportunities. If someone assumes they are not leadership material, they may never apply for a promotion, even if they have the skills to succeed. 2. Creating false certainty. Many people prefer certainty over ambiguity, even if that certainty is based on flawed assumptions. Instead of questioning their beliefs, they seek information that confirms what they already think, leading to confirmation bias, a major barrier to rational thinking. 3. Strengthening cognitive biases. Assumptions often reinforce existing cognitive biases. For example, stereotyping, assuming that all members of a group behave the same way. Overgeneralization, drawing broad conclusions from a limited number of experiences. The halo effect, assuming that because someone is good at one thing, they must be good at everything else. 4. Affecting risk assessment. If someone assumes that starting a business is too risky, they may never take the time to assess the actual risks and rewards. In reality, every decision carries both risks and benefits, and assumptions can distort the way we evaluate them. 5. Influencing how we interpret data. Two people can look at the same information and draw completely different conclusions based on their existing assumptions. A person who assumes that people can't change will interpret any small mistake as proof that someone is unreliable, while a person with a growth mindset may see the same mistake as a learning opportunity. How to identify and challenge your assumptions. Since assumptions often operate subconsciously, the first step is becoming aware of them. Here are several techniques to identify and challenge your limiting beliefs. 1. Ask yourself, why do I believe this? When you catch yourself making a statement or decision based on an assumption, pause and ask, where did this belief come from? Is it based on facts, or is it something I've just accepted over time? Have I ever tested whether this assumption is true? Would someone with a different background or experience see it the same way? 2. Consider the opposite perspective. One powerful exercise is to deliberately adopt the opposite viewpoint of your assumption. If you assume that I'm not creative, challenge yourself to find evidence that proves the opposite. Look for times when you solved a problem in an innovative way or thought outside the box. 3. Seek evidence that contradicts your assumptions. Confirmation bias causes us to focus on information that supports our beliefs while ignoring contradictory evidence. To counteract this, actively search for examples, research, or case studies that challenge your existing views. For example, if you believe that people over 40 can't switch careers successfully, look for stories of individuals who have done exactly that. 4. Engage in thought experiments. A great way to test assumptions is by conducting mental simulations. Imagine a scenario where your assumption is false. What if I'm wrong? How would I act differently if this assumption weren't true? What new opportunities might open up? By exploring these questions, you expand your thinking and see new possibilities. 5. Consult diverse perspectives. Sometimes, the best way to challenge an assumption is by exposing yourself to different viewpoints. Talk to people from different backgrounds, industries, or life experiences. Ask for their opinions on a topic where you hold strong beliefs and listen with an open mind. 6. Run small experiments. If an assumption is holding you back, test it in real life. Instead of assuming, I can't start a business, try launching a small side project. If you assume, I'm not good at public speaking, join a local speaking group to test your skills in a low-risk environment. By running small experiments, you gather real-world evidence rather than relying on assumptions. 7. Keep a belief journal. Write down the beliefs you hold about different areas of your life: career, relationships, health, money, etc. Then, examine whether each belief is based on logic, personal experience, or social conditioning. Challenge yourself to revise or replace any beliefs that are not serving you. The power of an open mind. Challenging assumptions doesn't mean discarding all your beliefs. It means refining them based on logic and evidence. By keeping an open mind, you become more adaptable in changing circumstances. You make better decisions based on reality rather than outdated beliefs. You open yourself up to greater opportunities in both personal and professional life. Being willing to question your assumptions is a sign of intelligence, growth, and wisdom. The greatest thinkers, innovators, and leaders are those who continuously challenge their own ideas and refine their understanding of the world. Chapter 3. Breaking down complex problems into manageable pieces. The overwhelm of complexity. Life is full of complex problems that can feel overwhelming. Whether it's making a career change, solving a work-related issue, or navigating a difficult personal situation, the weight of a large problem can make us feel stuck. The bigger and more intricate the issue, the harder it is to see a clear solution. When faced with complexity, many people experience decision paralysis, a state where the problem feels so big that they avoid making any decision at all. Others rush into solutions without fully understanding the issue, leading to ineffective or short-term fixes. The key to solving complex problems efficiently is learning how to break them down into smaller, manageable parts. This chapter will explore practical strategies to help you dissect problems logically, reduce overwhelm, and move toward clear, actionable solutions. Why do we struggle with complex problems? Before diving into the strategies, let's first understand why complex problems feel so daunting. 1. The human brain prefers simplicity. Our brains are wired to seek patterns and shortcuts. When faced with something complicated, we instinctively try to simplify it. However, when a problem doesn't fit neatly into our mental frameworks, we become frustrated and unsure of how to proceed. 2. Information overload. In today's digital world, we are constantly bombarded with information. When trying to solve a problem, we often receive too much data, making it difficult to distinguish between relevant and irrelevant details. 3. Emotional reactions. Complex problems often trigger anxiety, fear, or frustration. These emotions can cloud our judgment, making it harder to think clearly and logically. 4. Uncertainty and the fear of making the wrong choice. When a problem has multiple possible solutions, we may fear choosing the wrong one. This can lead to hesitation, second-guessing, or avoiding the problem altogether. The power of breaking problems down. Instead of looking at a complex problem as one giant, unsolvable issue, the key is to divide it into smaller, more manageable parts. This technique has several benefits. Reduces overwhelm. Smaller tasks feel more achievable. Clarifies the real issue. Breaking a problem down helps you identify the root cause. Improves focus. Tackling one piece at a time keeps you from getting lost in the details. Enhances decision-making. You can analyze each part separately and make smarter choices. Encourages progress. Solving smaller pieces provides momentum, keeping you motivated. Let's explore effective methods for breaking down complex problems and approaching them with clarity. Step 1. Clearly define the problem. Many people struggle with problem solving because they haven't properly defined the issue. Before you start brainstorming solutions, take time to articulate exactly what the problem is. Ask yourself, what is the core issue? What outcome do I want? What factors contribute to this problem? Why is this an issue right now? What happens if I don't solve it? For example, imagine you're struggling with career dissatisfaction. Instead of labeling it as, I hate my job, define it more specifically. Is it the work itself, the company culture, or the lack of growth? Are you feeling unchallenged, undervalued, or overworked? What specifically would make your career feel fulfilling? A clearly defined problem gives you a better starting point for breaking it down. Step 2. Break it down into categories. Once you have a well-defined problem, the next step is to divide it into smaller categories or components. This helps make the issue less intimidating and easier to analyze. Common ways to break problems down. By cause, identify what is causing the issue. By effect, look at the different ways the problem impacts your life. By stakeholders, consider who is involved or affected. By time frame, break it into short-term and long-term aspects. By resources, identify what tools or skills you need to solve it. Example, struggling to manage finances. Let's say your problem is, I can't seem to save money. Breaking it down, you could categorize it like this. Income, do I need to earn more? Expenses, where is my money going? Debt, am I carrying too much financial burden? Budgeting, do I have a structured plan for my finances? Mindset, am I making emotional spending decisions? By dividing the problem into smaller categories, you can tackle each area individually rather than trying to fix everything at once. Step 3. Prioritize the most urgent aspects. Not all parts of a problem require immediate action. Some issues are more urgent, while others can be addressed later. Once you've broken the problem down, rank each part based on urgency and importance. Use the Eisenhower matrix to help. Urgent and important. Needs immediate attention. Important but not urgent. Plan for these but don't rush. Urgent but not important. Delegate if possible. Not urgent and not important. Consider eliminating. Example, career dissatisfaction. If you're unhappy in your job, breaking it down might reveal that you dislike the work itself. High urgency. Your salary isn't growing fast enough. Medium urgency. You want a better work-life balance. Long-term goal. Prioritizing helps you focus on what needs action first rather than feeling overwhelmed by every issue at once. Step 4. Solve one piece at a time. Instead of trying to fix everything simultaneously, focus on tackling one aspect at a time. This prevents decision fatigue and allows for gradual, sustainable progress. Example, starting a business. If your goal is to launch a business but it feels overwhelming, break it down. Market research. Identify your ideal customers. Product development. Create a prototype. Financial planning. Set up a budget and funding strategy. Marketing. Plan how to attract customers. By focusing on just one step at a time, you move forward without getting stuck in the enormity of the goal. Step 5. Evaluate and adjust as needed. As you work through different aspects of a problem, new insights may emerge. Stay flexible and be willing to reassess your approach if needed. Ask yourself regularly, am I making progress? Do I need to adjust my plan? Has new information changed my approach? Problem solving is an ongoing process, and adjustments along the way are a normal part of finding the best solution. Step 6. Avoid common pitfalls. Even with a structured approach, there are common mistakes that can hinder your ability to break down problems effectively. Overanalyzing, breaking a problem down too much can lead to analysis paralysis. Know when to take action. Perfectionism, trying to solve every aspect perfectly, can slow progress. Ignoring small wins, celebrate progress, even if it's incremental. Losing sight of the big picture. Don't get so focused on details that you forget the end goal. Chapter 4. Using logic and evidence to guide your decisions. The power of logic in decision-making. Every day, we make decisions. Some small, like choosing what to eat, and others life-changing, like selecting a career path or deciding whether to invest in a business. Many of these decisions are influenced by emotions, intuition, or social pressures, often leading to choices that may not serve us well in the long run. Rational decision-making relies on logic and evidence, ensuring that we make informed choices based on facts rather than gut feelings or personal biases. By developing the ability to analyze information critically, we can minimize the risk of making poor decisions and maximize our ability to achieve successful outcomes. This chapter will explore how to apply logic and evidence-based reasoning to decision-making, helping you develop a structured approach to thinking that will improve the quality of your choices. What is logical thinking? Logical thinking is the ability to assess situations objectively, identify relevant information, and use clear reasoning to draw conclusions. It involves identifying the facts rather than relying on assumptions, recognizing patterns and evaluating cause and effect relationships, distinguishing between correlation and causation, applying structured reasoning to reach a rational conclusion. Logic versus emotion in decision-making. While emotions are an essential part of the human experience, they can cloud judgment when making important decisions. Consider the following scenarios. Emotion-driven decision. You invest in a stock because everyone else is buying it, fearing that you'll miss out, FOMO, fear of missing out. Logic-driven decision. You research the company's financial health, analyze market trends, and assess risk factors before investing. Logical decision-making is not about ignoring emotions altogether, but rather ensuring that emotions don't override clear thinking. The role of evidence in smart decision-making. Evidence-based decision-making involves gathering relevant information, analyzing it objectively, and using it to make informed choices. 1. The importance of data-driven decisions. Making decisions based on concrete data reduces the likelihood of bias and error. For example, a doctor diagnosing a patient relies on medical tests and case studies rather than assumptions. A business leader launching a new product conducts market research rather than guessing what consumers want. Key principle: the more reliable information you have, the better your decision will be. 2. How to evaluate evidence for reliability. Not all information is created equal. To ensure you're basing decisions on solid evidence, ask: is the source credible? Look for reputable experts, peer-reviewed studies, and unbiased data. Is the information up to date? Old data may not reflect current realities. Are there multiple sources confirming this information? Cross-check data from different perspectives. Does the information come from an objective source? Be wary of personal opinions disguised as facts. For instance, if you're researching whether a diet is effective, don't rely on anecdotal testimonials. Look for scientific studies, controlled experiments, and nutritional expert reviews. The logical decision-making framework. A structured approach to logical decision-making can help ensure that emotions and biases do not interfere with your judgment. Below is a 5-step method to apply logical thinking and evidence-based reasoning. Step 1. Define the problem clearly. Before making a decision, ensure you fully understand the problem. Example of a poorly defined problem: I hate my job. Example of a well-defined problem: I feel unfulfilled in my current role due to a lack of career growth and low job satisfaction. Asking clarifying questions can help. What exactly is the issue? What are the key factors involved? What does a successful outcome look like? Step 2. Gather all relevant information. Once the problem is defined, collect as much relevant data as possible. Look for objective sources rather than relying on personal opinions. Consider different perspectives to avoid one-sided thinking. Identify potential biases in the information you receive. Example: buying a new car. Emotional decision: buying a car based on how it looks or brand reputation alone. Logical decision: comparing safety ratings, fuel efficiency, maintenance costs, and customer reviews before deciding. Step 3. Identify possible solutions and consequences. After gathering information, list out all possible solutions and evaluate their consequences. What are the benefits and drawbacks of each option? What are the short-term and long-term implications? Are there hidden risks that need to be considered? Using probability-based thinking can help. For example, if you're investing in a startup, consider: what is the probability of success based on industry trends? What is the worst-case scenario, and can I afford it? Is there historical data that supports this decision? Step 4. Use logical reasoning to compare options. Apply structured thinking to weigh the pros and cons of each option. Some useful techniques include: 1. The pros and cons method. A simple but effective way to weigh options. Write out: heavy checkmark, pros, benefits, advantages, and positive outcomes. Crossmark cons, risks, costs, and potential downsides. 2. The if-then method. This method helps predict potential consequences. Example: if I take this new job, then I will have to relocate. If I relocate, then I will need to find new housing and schools for my kids. 3. The decision matrix. A more structured approach where you assign a numerical value to different decision factors. Example: when choosing between job offers, rate factors such as salary, work-life balance, and growth opportunities on a scale of 1 to 10. Factor job A, score. Job B, score. Salary 8.6. Work-life balance 6.9. Career growth 9.7. Stability 7.8. Total score 30.30. In this case, if both jobs score equally, you might need to reevaluate which factors matter most to you. Step 5. Make the decision and review the outcome. Once you have analyzed the data logically, make the best possible decision based on the evidence. After executing the decision, monitor results. Track whether the outcome aligns with your expectations. Review mistakes. If the decision doesn't work out, analyze where the process can be improved. Refine future decisions. Use each experience as a learning opportunity to enhance your logical thinking skills. Avoiding common pitfalls in logical thinking. Even when applying logic, there are pitfalls that can still lead to poor decision-making. 1. Confirmation bias. People tend to seek out information that supports what they already believe and ignore conflicting evidence. Heavy checkmark solution. Actively search for opposing viewpoints to challenge your assumptions. 2. Over-reliance on anecdotal evidence. Relying on personal stories instead of statistical data can lead to inaccurate conclusions. Heavy checkmark solution. Look for research-backed evidence instead of individual experiences. 3. Analysis paralysis. Spending too much time analyzing data can lead to indecision. Heavy checkmark solution. Set a deadline for gathering information and commit to making a decision once the necessary data is available. 4. Ignoring emotional intelligence. Logical thinking should be balanced with emotional awareness. Heavy checkmark solution. Recognize when emotions are influencing your decision, but don't let them override logical analysis. Chapter 5. The Art of Reflection. Learning from past decisions. Why reflection is crucial for smart decision-making. Every decision we make, whether big or small, carries valuable lessons. Some choices lead to success, while others result in disappointment. However, the real difference between those who improve their decision-making skills and those who repeat mistakes is reflection, the ability to critically analyze past choices and extract lessons for the future. Reflection allows us to identify what worked and what didn't in previous decisions, recognize patterns that lead to success or failure, improve self-awareness by understanding our strengths and weaknesses in decision-making, adjust our strategies to make better choices in the future. Without reflection, we risk making the same mistakes over and over again. By analyzing our past decisions thoughtfully, we gain insights that enhance our ability to think rationally and act with greater clarity. What is reflective thinking? Reflective thinking is the process of reviewing past experiences, analyzing them objectively, and using the insights gained to improve future decisions. It involves looking back at the decision-making process, not just the outcome. Understanding what influenced the decision, logical reasoning, emotions, biases, or external pressures. Evaluating whether the decision aligned with long-term goals and values. Learning from both successes and failures. Reflection is not about self-criticism or regret. Instead, it is about learning and growth. The goal is to refine your thinking and decision-making skills over time. The power of self-reflection in decision-making. Regular reflection offers several key benefits. 1. It helps you recognize patterns in your decision-making. When you reflect on past decisions, you begin to notice patterns in how you think and act. For example, do you often make impulsive choices that you later regret? Do you tend to overanalyze decisions, leading to analysis paralysis? Are your decisions aligned with your values and long-term goals? Recognizing these patterns allows you to make conscious adjustments, improving your future choices. 2. It helps you avoid repeating mistakes. If you don't take time to reflect, you may find yourself making the same mistakes over and over. By analyzing what went wrong in past decisions, you can pinpoint specific areas for improvement. For example, if you made a poor financial decision, reflection might reveal that you didn't do enough research before investing. You were influenced by emotions rather than logic. You relied on advice from unreliable sources. With this awareness, you can adjust your approach to avoid making the same mistake again. 3. It strengthens your rational thinking skills. Reflective thinking sharpens your ability to analyze situations logically. By reviewing past decisions with a critical mindset, you train your brain to approach future choices with greater clarity. For instance, if you reflect on a career move that turned out well, you can identify the specific factors that led to success, such as gathering and analyzing sufficient information before making the decision, considering both short-term and long-term consequences, seeking input from mentors or experts. By reinforcing these effective strategies, you build stronger decision-making habits. 4. It reduces regret and increases confidence. When you reflect on past decisions, you develop a sense of control over your choices. This helps reduce feelings of regret and increases confidence in your ability to make good decisions. Instead of dwelling on what-if scenarios, reflective thinkers focus on what can I learn from this? This mindset shift allows you to move forward with confidence rather than being stuck in the past. How to practice effective reflection. Reflection is not something that happens automatically. It requires intentional effort. Below are practical techniques to integrate reflective thinking into your daily life. 1. Keep a decision journal. One of the best ways to develop a habit of reflection is to keep a decision journal. This helps track past decisions, analyze their outcomes, and extract valuable insights. How to use a decision journal. Write down major decisions you make. Career moves, financial choices, relationship decisions, etc. Document the reasoning behind the decision. What factors influenced your choice? Describe the expected outcome. What did you think would happen? Review the actual outcome. Did things turn out as expected? Identify key takeaways. What can you learn from this decision? By consistently reviewing past decisions, you build a database of insights that sharpens your decision-making skills over time. 2. Ask reflective questions. Self-inquiry is a powerful tool for reflection. After making a decision, take time to ask yourself, what factors influenced my decision? Emotions, logic, peer pressure, etc. Was I fully informed, or did I act on limited information? Did I consider all possible outcomes before deciding? What went well, and what could have been improved? If faced with a similar decision again, what would I do differently? These questions help uncover hidden biases, improve self-awareness, and refine your thinking process. 3. Conduct a Post-mortem analysis. A post-mortem analysis is commonly used in business and project management to assess what went right and wrong after an event. You can apply this same strategy to personal decision-making. Steps for a post-mortem analysis. Describe the decision you made. List what factors contributed to the outcome. Identify unexpected challenges or blind spots. Analyze what you could have done differently. Create an action plan for improvement in future decisions. By reviewing both successful and unsuccessful decisions, you develop a deeper understanding of what leads to good choices. 4. Use the hindsight 20/20 method. Imagine you could go back in time and redo a decision with the knowledge you have now. Ask yourself, what information would I have gathered beforehand? What biases would I have avoided? What alternative options should I have considered? This technique helps bridge the gap between past experiences and future learning. 5. Seek feedback from others. Sometimes, we are too close to our own decisions to see them objectively. Seeking feedback from trusted mentors, colleagues, or friends can provide valuable external perspectives. How do you think I handled this decision? Do you see any blind spots I may have missed? What would you have done differently? Be open to constructive criticism. It can provide insights that help you refine your thinking. Turning reflection into action. Reflection is meaningless if it doesn't lead to growth and improvement. Here's how to turn insights into action. 1. Identify key lessons. After analyzing a past decision, summarize the key lessons learned. Example, I learned that I need to take more time to research investment opportunities before committing. 2. Set new decision-making goals. Use your reflections to set goals that improve your future decisions. Example, next time I make a financial decision, I will consult at least 3 different expert sources before proceeding. 3. Develop new decision-making habits. If reflection reveals that you tend to make impulsive choices, you might adopt a 24-hour rule, where you wait a full day before making non-urgent decisions. Small changes like this can lead to better long-term habits. 4. Track your progress. Continue using your decision journal or another tracking system to measure how your decision-making improves over time. Seeing progress reinforces positive behavior. Common pitfalls in reflection and how to avoid them. Even though reflection is a powerful tool, there are pitfalls to avoid. Overthinking the past. Reflection should be about learning, not obsessing over what went wrong. Heavy checkmark solution. Focus on what you can change moving forward rather than dwelling on regret. Ignoring successful decisions. Reflection isn't just for mistakes. Analyzing successful decisions helps reinforce effective strategies. Heavy checkmark solution. Reflect on both failures and achievements to identify repeatable patterns of success. Lack of action. Reflection without action is pointless. Heavy checkmark solution. Apply at least one lesson from every major decision you review. Chapter 6. Managing your emotions in decision-making. The emotional landscape of decision-making. Making decisions isn't just about logic, facts, or evidence. Emotions play a crucial role in how we make choices. Whether it's excitement, fear, frustration, or joy, our emotional responses often guide the way we interpret information and act in the moment. Sometimes, our emotions can be helpful, driving us to make passionate, committed decisions that align with our values. However, unchecked emotions can cloud our judgment, leading us to make decisions that we later regret. Understanding how emotions influence decision-making is the first step in learning to manage them effectively. This chapter will explore the relationship between emotions and decisions, the ways in which emotions can distort our judgment, and strategies to control and channel our emotions in a way that promotes better decision-making. Why emotions influence our decisions. Emotions are deeply ingrained in human nature. They have evolved to help us respond quickly to life's challenges, whether that's by avoiding danger, seeking pleasure, or bonding with others. However, in the context of decision-making, emotions can sometimes interfere with rational thought. Here's why emotions are so powerful in decision-making. Evolutionary roots. Emotions are designed to motivate us quickly. In the past, when humans faced immediate threats, emotions like fear or anger would trigger a fight-or-flight response, helping them respond quickly. Today, These emotional reactions still govern our responses, even when we're not facing life-threatening situations. Instantaneous reactions. Emotions often arise much faster than conscious thought. This can be a double-edged sword. While it's beneficial when we need to act quickly, it can also cause us to make rash decisions without considering all options. Bias and distortion. Emotions can create cognitive biases that distort our perception of a situation. For example, when we're feeling anxious, we might perceive risks as greater than they are, or when we're happy, we may overlook potential downsides to a decision. Emotions as guides. On the positive side, emotions can be useful guides. Joy, satisfaction, and excitement can signal that a decision is in line with our values, passions, or desires. Fear, doubt, and frustration can signal that something is wrong or that we need to rethink our approach. However, understanding the role of emotions is key. While emotions can be useful signals, they should not dictate our decisions without the balance of logical, evidence-based thinking. How emotions can lead to poor decisions. Despite their evolutionary benefits, emotions can lead us astray in decision-making. Here are some common ways emotions influence our decisions negatively. 1. Impulsive decisions. When emotions are running high, they can lead us to act impulsively, without thinking through the consequences. For example, fear of missing out, FOMO, might lead us to make a hasty investment in a trend without properly evaluating the risks. Excitement might drive us to make a spontaneous purchase, even when it's not in line with our long-term financial goals. Why it happens? In emotionally charged situations, we often seek relief or gratification, leading to snap decisions that prioritize short-term benefits over long-term goals. 2. Over-emotional responses to stress. Stress often leads to a fight-or-flight response. If we feel threatened or under pressure, we might make decisions based on the need to relieve that tension rather than considering what's truly in our best interest. For example, under stress, you might quit a job impulsively or end a relationship prematurely because you want to escape the discomfort, even if there's a better solution with more time and reflection. Why it happens? Stress triggers intense emotional responses that can cloud your judgment, causing you to act out of a desire for relief rather than thoughtful consideration. 3. Confirmation bias. When we are emotionally attached to a particular outcome, we are more likely to seek out information that confirms our feelings, ignoring contradictory evidence. This phenomenon is known as confirmation bias. For instance, if you're emotionally invested in buying a particular house, you may overlook structural issues or fail to properly assess the neighborhood, simply because you want to justify your decision. Why it happens? When emotions influence your thinking, you tend to see the world through a biased lens, prioritizing information that supports what you already feel. 4. Overconfidence and risk-taking. When we are in a heightened emotional state, such as being overly excited about a new opportunity, we may become overly confident in our ability to succeed and take on more risk than we would normally be comfortable with. For example, making an investment without proper research or taking on a business venture without considering potential risks can be driven by overconfidence. Why it happens? Positive emotions like excitement or happiness can cloud our ability to see risks clearly, leading us to take bigger chances than we should. 5. Avoidance of negative emotions. Sometimes, our desire to avoid negative emotions like regret, guilt, or fear can lead us to make poor decisions. We might avoid making decisions altogether or make a decision that relieves our emotional discomfort rather than one that's best for our well-being. For instance, staying in an unfulfilling relationship to avoid the emotional discomfort of a breakup. Why it happens? Emotions often drive us to avoid discomfort, even if that discomfort is necessary for personal growth or long-term happiness. Strategies for managing emotions in decision-making. Learning to manage your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It means acknowledging them, understanding their impact, and using them to inform your decisions without letting them dominate the process. Below are practical strategies to help you manage emotions in decision-making. 1. Practice emotional awareness. The first step in managing your emotions is becoming aware of them. Recognize when emotions are influencing your decisions, and acknowledge their impact. You don't have to repress emotions, but you need to be mindful of how they are affecting your thought process. How to practice. Start by checking in with yourself before making decisions. Ask yourself, how do I feel right now? Am I feeling anxious, excited, angry, or frustrated? How might these emotions be influencing my judgment? By recognizing emotions as they arise, you can take steps to separate them from your decision-making process. 2. Pause and reflect. When you're faced with an emotionally charged decision, pause before acting. Take a few moments to breathe, relax, and let your emotions settle. This can prevent you from making impulsive decisions based on strong emotions. How to practice. When you feel emotions rising, take a deep breath and allow yourself to sit with the discomfort. Ask yourself, what is my emotion telling me about the situation? Is this emotion clouding my judgment? What is the logical next step I can take to address the situation? A pause allows you to regain control of your thoughts and helps ensure that your decisions are based on reason rather than impulsivity. 3. Reframe your emotional responses. Reframing is the process of changing the way you perceive an emotional experience. Instead of viewing an emotion as something that needs to be acted upon immediately, reframe it as useful information that can guide your decision-making. How to practice. For instance, if you feel nervous about a big decision, instead of viewing that anxiety as something to avoid, reframe it as excitement about the opportunity ahead. If you're frustrated by a challenge, reframe that frustration as motivation to solve the problem. Reframing emotions helps you see them as signals rather than obstacles, empowering you to act in a more thoughtful and balanced way. 4. Practice mindfulness and emotional regulation. Mindfulness techniques, such as meditation or deep breathing exercises, can help regulate emotions by bringing your awareness to the present moment and calming your mind. How to practice. Set aside time each day to engage in mindfulness practices like deep breathing, yoga, or meditation. These practices help you build emotional resilience, making it easier to manage emotions in high-pressure situations. Mindfulness also helps you focus on the present, preventing past experiences or future anxieties from clouding your decisions. 5. Use logic and evidence to balance emotions. When emotions are high, it's easy to ignore rational thought. One of the most effective ways to manage emotions is to deliberately ground yourself in logic and evidence-based thinking. This doesn't mean completely disregarding your emotions, but rather ensuring that they don't overshadow objective analysis. How to practice. When faced with an emotional decision, list out the facts and evidence related to the situation. Ask yourself, what are the logical pros and cons of each option? What does the data tell me about this decision? What are the potential long-term outcomes? By balancing your emotional responses with logical thinking, you can make more informed and rational decisions. 6. Seek external perspectives. Sometimes, emotions can cloud your ability to see the situation clearly. In these moments, it's helpful to seek input from others. Getting a fresh perspective from someone who isn't emotionally involved can help you make more rational decisions. How to practice. Reach out to a trusted friend, mentor, or advisor who can offer an objective viewpoint. Ask them, what do you think about this situation? How would you approach this decision? Do you see any blind spots in my thinking? External perspectives help you step outside the emotional bubble, ensuring that you're not making decisions based on temporary feelings. Chapter 7. Commit to the process, not just the outcome. The trap of focusing only on the result. In our society, success is often measured by the end result. Whether it's securing a promotion, making a profitable investment, or achieving a personal milestone, the outcome tends to be the focal point of our efforts. However, this results-oriented thinking can be detrimental to our decision-making process. The truth is that focusing solely on the outcome often leads to anxiety, stress, and suboptimal choices. It also discourages growth and learning from the journey itself, which is a crucial part of developing a rational mind. To develop a rational decision-making process, it's important to shift the focus from the outcome to the process, the steps you take to get there. Embracing the process means committing to thoughtful analysis, continual improvement, and learning from both successes and setbacks. In this chapter, we'll explore why committing to the decision-making process is more beneficial than obsessing over the result, and how this mindset shift can help you become a more confident, resilient, and effective decision-maker. The problem with outcome-focused thinking. When we focus too much on the outcome, we are at risk of making decisions that aren't fully aligned with our long-term goals and values. This outcome-based mentality often leads to hastiness. We might rush decisions, trying to get to the result as quickly as possible, without considering all aspects of the problem. Overlooking the journey. We miss out on the valuable lessons and growth that come from the process, only to find that the results don't feel as satisfying as expected. Stress and anxiety. The pressure to achieve a specific outcome can lead to excessive stress, fear of failure, and decision paralysis, making it harder to think clearly and logically. Short-term thinking. We may take shortcuts or opt for immediate gratification, rather than considering the long-term implications of our decisions. Ignoring personal growth. The fear of failure or making mistakes becomes so great that we avoid taking risks or embracing the learning process. While the end result is important, it's crucial to acknowledge that the process you take to reach that goal can be just as, if not more, valuable. When we focus on the process, we learn, adapt, and improve, even when the results aren't exactly what we expected. The power of focusing on the process. Shifting your focus from the outcome to the process has several important benefits. It allows you to make more thoughtful, rational decisions and fosters growth and resilience, regardless of the result. 1. Reduces the pressure of perfection. One of the dangers of outcome-focused thinking is the constant pressure to make the perfect decision. When we fixate on achieving a specific result, we often fear that any misstep or mistake will lead to failure. This fear can be paralyzing, causing us to second-guess ourselves and delay decisions. By committing to the process, you allow yourself the freedom to experiment and fail forward. You recognize that decisions are often iterative, and that mistakes are part of the learning journey. This mindset reduces the fear of failure and encourages you to act with confidence. Example: if you're considering a career change and focus solely on securing the perfect job, you might become so overwhelmed by the uncertainty of the decision that you avoid making it altogether. However, if you commit to the process of researching opportunities, gaining new skills, and networking, the journey itself becomes rewarding, regardless of whether the exact job you wanted materializes. 2. Encourages consistency and improvement. When you focus on the process, you create a framework for consistent improvement. This allows you to evaluate your decisions over time, refine your approach, and adapt to changing circumstances. A commitment to the process ensures that you remain focused on what's within your control, making thoughtful, informed decisions that align with your values and goals. By regularly reflecting on the steps you take and the decisions you make, you continue to grow as a decision-maker. Each experience, whether successful or not, provides valuable insights for the future. Example: a writer who focuses solely on the outcome of publishing a book might become discouraged by rejection letters or the pressure to create a bestseller. However, by focusing on the process, writing every day, improving skills through feedback, and experimenting with different styles, they can continuously improve their craft, regardless of external recognition. 3. Enhances resilience and patience. Outcome-based thinking often breeds impatience. When we focus on achieving a specific result, we expect immediate gratification. If we don't see progress quickly, we may become discouraged, frustrated, or even give up. Focusing on the process cultivates resilience by teaching you to stay committed even when the results aren't immediate. When you commit to the process, you recognize that meaningful progress takes time. Whether it's learning a new skill, growing a business, or building a meaningful relationship, patience is key. Focusing on the process allows you to stay motivated, even when the end result seems far away. Example: building a successful business takes years of hard work, trial and error, and constant adaptation. Entrepreneurs who are solely focused on achieving financial success may become disheartened by early failures. However, by focusing on the process, fine-tuning business strategies, listening to customers, and improving marketing techniques, they can build a sustainable, successful business over time. 4. Promotes long-term success. Outcome-focused thinking can sometimes lead to short-term decision-making, choosing quick fixes or temporary solutions to achieve immediate results. However, when you focus on the process, you prioritize long-term success by making decisions that are aligned with your ultimate goals, rather than chasing after fleeting rewards. By dedicating yourself to the process, you ensure that the choices you make today will set you up for lasting success, both personally and professionally. Example: a person who chooses to invest in a retirement fund over the short term might not see immediate gains. However, by staying committed to the process of consistent investing over the years, they will build a robust financial future, compounded by steady growth, rather than relying on volatile, short-term opportunities. How to shift your focus from outcome to process. Making the shift from focusing on outcomes to focusing on the process can be challenging, especially when society places so much emphasis on results. However, with intentional practice, you can develop a mindset that values the journey rather than just the destination. 1. Set process-oriented goals. Instead of setting goals based solely on the desired outcome, shift your focus to goals that are centered around the process. Process-oriented goals focus on how you will get there rather than what you will achieve. Examples of process-oriented goals. Instead of, I want to make $100,000 this year. Try, I will dedicate 30 minutes each day to developing my business strategy. Instead of, I want to lose 20 pounds by the end of the year. Try, I will exercise 3 times a week and track my meals daily. By setting goals that focus on the actions and steps you will take, you create a sustainable path to success, regardless of the outcome. 2. Develop a daily routine. The key to focusing on the process is to build routines that reinforce the behaviors and actions that will lead you to your goals. Whether it's writing, exercising, studying, or networking, having a daily routine helps you stay committed to the process. Example: if your goal is to improve your fitness, develop a routine that includes regular exercise, healthy eating, and sleep habits. By focusing on the daily habits, you increase the likelihood of long-term success, rather than obsessing over a specific weight goal. 3. Celebrate small wins. When focusing on the process, it's important to celebrate small wins along the way. These incremental achievements provide motivation, reinforce positive behavior, and help maintain a sense of accomplishment. Example: if you're working on a long-term project, celebrate each milestone, whether it's completing a chapter of a book, acquiring a new client, or reaching a certain level of productivity. Recognizing and celebrating progress keeps you engaged in the process, even when the final outcome is still far off. 4. Embrace flexibility and adaptability. The process is rarely linear. There will be setbacks, detours, and moments of uncertainty. Focusing on the process means being adaptable and embracing change when necessary. If things don't go as planned, view them as opportunities to adjust your strategy, learn, and move forward. Example: in your career, you might find that a path you initially thought would lead to success isn't working out. Rather than abandoning the goal altogether, focus on adapting your approach, acquiring new skills, seeking advice, or pivoting to a different field. 5. Reframe failures as learning opportunities. Failures and mistakes are inevitable when working through a process, but instead of viewing them as setbacks, reframe them as learning opportunities. Each failure teaches you something valuable that you can apply moving forward. Example: if your business idea fails, reflect on what went wrong. Was it the market demand, the pricing strategy, or the marketing approach? Use the feedback to refine your approach, rather than fixating on the failure itself. The importance of long-term vision. One of the most effective ways to stay committed to the process is by maintaining a long-term vision. When you have a clear understanding of where you want to be in the future, the process becomes less about immediate results and more about steady, intentional progress toward that vision. Ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like in 5 or 10 years? What values do I want to guide my decisions? How can I break down my long-term vision into actionable steps? By constantly reminding yourself of your long-term goals, you are more likely to stay committed to the process, even when the immediate results aren't as fulfilling as you would like. Chapter 8. Build a system for consistent decision-making. The need for a decision-making system. In an increasingly complex and fast-paced world, the ability to make good decisions is one of the most important skills we can develop. Whether in business, relationships, or personal life, every day we are faced with decisions that affect our outcomes, our well-being, and our future. Yet, too often, we make decisions on the fly, based on emotions, external pressures, or knee-jerk reactions, which can lead to undesirable results. To make consistently smart, informed choices, we need a structured approach, a decision-making system. A well-designed system helps you systematically evaluate options, minimize biases, and prioritize what truly matters. It provides a framework for making choices that align with your long-term goals and values, and it can be adapted to handle decisions of all sizes and complexities. This chapter will explore how to build a decision-making system that works for you. We will cover essential strategies, tools, and methods to create a framework for consistent, logical, and well-thought-out decisions. Why a decision-making system is essential. Without a system in place, decisions can be chaotic and inconsistent. When you leave decisions to chance or make them based on fleeting emotions, you risk making choices that are impulsive, reactive, and misaligned with your values. This can lead to unnecessary mistakes, regret, and wasted time. A decision-making system provides several key advantages. Consistency. It helps you make decisions consistently, even when faced with uncertainty or high pressure. Clarity. It simplifies complex choices, breaking them down into manageable parts. Alignment. It ensures your decisions align with your long-term goals and values. Reduced stress. Having a structured system reduces the stress and anxiety that often accompany important decisions. Minimized bias. A system can help you recognize and minimize cognitive biases, ensuring that your decisions are grounded in logic and evidence. The goal is to establish a decision-making process that enables you to approach every situation with confidence, objectivity, and clarity. The right system allows you to think critically, weigh your options, and make thoughtful decisions that lead to better outcomes. Key elements of a strong decision-making system. A successful decision-making system has several key elements, each designed to support thoughtful, logical, and reflective decision-making. These elements ensure that you're not simply reacting to circumstances, but actively considering all available information, options, and potential outcomes before making a choice. 1. Define your core principles and values. The foundation of any decision-making system should be a clear understanding of your core principles and values. These are the guiding beliefs that shape your decisions, helping you navigate life with consistency and integrity. Without a solid foundation, decisions can easily become misaligned with your true goals. Why it matters. Having a clear set of values and principles allows you to make decisions that are aligned with your authentic self and long-term objectives. When faced with a difficult choice, you can ask yourself, which option aligns with my core values and will get me closer to my ultimate vision? How to define your values. Reflect on what's most important to you. Think about what brings you fulfillment, what you're passionate about, and what you want your legacy to be. Write down your top values. This might include things like integrity, honesty, growth, connection, or freedom. Consider how your decisions will affect these values. In every decision, evaluate whether it supports or contradicts your core values. Example. If health is a core value for you, then decisions about diet, exercise, and work-life balance should align with maintaining a healthy lifestyle. This might mean choosing to spend time preparing a nutritious meal instead of opting for fast food. 2. Gather information and define the problem clearly. A critical part of any decision-making system is the gathering of information. You need to be well informed about the options available to you before you can make a wise decision. This step involves researching the facts, assessing the situation, and understanding all variables that affect your decision. How to gather information. Research thoroughly. Look at different sources of information, ask experts, and gather data that will help inform your decision. Understand the problem. Be clear on what the core issue is before jumping to solutions. Ask yourself, what problem am I solving? Consider alternatives. Don't settle for the first solution that comes to mind. Explore all available options and think creatively. Example. If you're considering a career change, start by researching the industry you want to move into. Understand the skill set required, potential salary ranges, and job satisfaction levels. Talk to people in the field to get first-hand insights. 3. Identify your options and evaluate the pros and cons. Once you've gathered the relevant information, it's time to generate potential solutions and evaluate the pros and cons of each option. This step is essential for making rational decisions based on evidence and logical reasoning, rather than emotions or impulses. How to evaluate options. Brainstorm all possible solutions. Think outside the box and explore all potential options, even those that may seem unconventional. List the pros and cons. For each option, weigh the benefits and drawbacks. What are the potential risks and rewards? Consider both short-term and long-term consequences. Don't just think about immediate benefits. Consider the impact of each option in the future. Example. If you are thinking about moving to a new city for a job opportunity, consider the pros and cons. Pros: new career growth, better salary, potential for new experiences. Cons: the cost of living, leaving friends and family behind, the stress of relocating. 4. Set clear, actionable goals. Once you have evaluated your options, the next step is to define clear, actionable goals that will guide your decision-making process. This ensures that the decisions you make are not just well thought out but lead to measurable progress toward your larger goals. How to set actionable goals. Break down your goals into smaller, actionable steps. Each step should be achievable and clearly defined. Align your goals with your core principles. Make sure your goals support your long-term vision. Make sure your goals are SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound. Example: if your decision is about whether to start a new business, break it down into smaller steps. Goal 1. Conduct market research within 2 weeks. Goal 2. Create a business plan by the end of the month. Goal 3. Secure funding or investments within 3 months. 5. Analyze risks and plan for uncertainty. No decision is ever made in a vacuum. There will always be some level of uncertainty. Therefore, a good decision-making system includes an assessment of risks and an ability to plan for the unknown. How to analyze risks. Identify the potential risks. What could go wrong with each option? What are the worst-case scenarios? Evaluate the likelihood and impact of these risks. Are the risks manageable, or are they deal-breakers? Prepare contingency plans. What will you do if things don't go as expected? Having a plan B helps you feel more secure in your decision-making process. Example: if you're starting a business, some risks include financial loss, competition, and market changes. Prepare for these by securing backup funding, researching competitors, and diversifying your product offerings to remain adaptable. 6. Make the decision and commit. After going through the process of gathering information, weighing options, setting goals, and evaluating risks, it's time to make the decision. One of the most important aspects of the decision-making system is commitment. Once you've made your decision, fully commit to it and take action. How to commit to the decision. Trust your process. Knowing that you've thought through your decision methodically and logically helps you commit with confidence. Your values and long-term goals. Take the first step. The best way to move forward is to act. Make sure to take the first step immediately, no matter how small. Don't second-guess yourself. Doubt can derail progress. Trust in the process and allow yourself to adapt if necessary, but don't allow self-doubt to prevent action. Example: if you've decided to relocate for a job, start by securing housing, making travel arrangements, and setting up a support system. Once the decision is made, don't delay. Take immediate action. 7. Review and learn from the process. Finally, after implementing your decision, it's important to review the outcome and reflect on the process. Did the decision achieve the intended result? What could you have done differently? Reviewing your decisions ensures that you continue to grow and refine your decision-making system. How to review. Assess the results. Did the outcome meet your expectations? If not, what went wrong? Identify key lessons. What worked well, and what could have been improved? Make adjustments. Use the feedback to adjust your decision-making process for next time. Example: after moving to the new city for a job, assess whether the transition was successful. Were you happy with the new role, the city, and the lifestyle? If not, consider what could be improved in future decisions, such as better preparation or seeking more clarity before making the choice. Putting the system into practice. Now that we have explored the key elements of a decision-making system, it's time to put it into practice. Here's how you can create your own personalized system. Define your values and principles. Write down the core values that guide your decisions and ensure they align with your long-term goals. Gather information. Research all relevant data, assess the situation, and clarify the problem. Generate options. List all possible solutions and evaluate their pros and cons. Set clear goals. Break down the steps you need to take to achieve your desired outcome. Analyze risks. Identify potential risks and create contingency plans for handling them. Make the decision and commit. After careful evaluation, choose the best option and take immediate action. Review and learn. Reflect on the process and outcomes to improve your decision-making over time. By consistently applying the system to all decisions, big and small, you will develop the confidence, clarity, and insight to make smarter, more informed choices that align with. Chapter 9. Embrace uncertainty and adapt to change. The nature of uncertainty. Uncertainty is an inevitable part of life. No matter how much we plan, how much data we collect, or how many pros and cons we weigh, there will always be elements of unpredictability in the decisions we make. This uncertainty, whether related to our career, relationships, health, or finances, often leads us to feel uneasy, anxious, and hesitant to act. The fear of the unknown can paralyze us, making it difficult to move forward and make the decisions necessary to achieve our goals. Yet, despite its discomfort, uncertainty is an essential part of the human experience. It pushes us to adapt, evolve, and grow. By learning to embrace uncertainty rather than fear it, we not only improve our decision-making abilities but also develop resilience and agility that help us navigate life's inevitable changes. In this chapter, we will explore how to embrace uncertainty as a natural part of decision-making, and how to build the mental and emotional flexibility needed to adapt to changing circumstances. We will discuss strategies to help you make confident decisions in the face of uncertainty, and how you can develop the skills to pivot and adjust your approach when necessary. Why uncertainty is so difficult to handle. Uncertainty is challenging for several reasons. Humans are wired to seek stability and predictability. It provides a sense of control and security. In situations where the outcome is unclear, the lack of control can trigger feelings of fear, anxiety, and frustration. Here's why uncertainty is particularly difficult. Fear of the unknown. Not knowing the future creates discomfort, which can lead to anxiety and indecision. We tend to fear what we cannot predict or control. Loss of control. When we can't anticipate the outcome of our actions, we feel vulnerable. The more important the decision, the greater the fear of losing control and making the wrong choice. Cognitive biases. Our brains are naturally biased toward certainty. We often overestimate our ability to predict outcomes, and when faced with uncertainty, we may seek quick answers or make decisions based on incomplete information just to reduce the discomfort of ambiguity. Perfectionism. Many people tie their sense of worth or success to getting things right all the time. This perfectionist mindset makes uncertainty even harder to tolerate, as it feeds into the fear of failure and the need for flawless decision-making. Despite these natural inclinations, uncertainty is an unavoidable part of the decision-making process. The ability to embrace uncertainty, and even leverage it for personal growth, can set you apart as a decisive, resilient, and adaptable individual. The benefits of embracing uncertainty. While uncertainty can be uncomfortable, it also holds immense potential for personal growth, innovation, and self-discovery. Rather than avoiding uncertainty or resisting it, we can choose to lean into it. Embracing uncertainty opens the door to new opportunities, perspectives, and experiences that would otherwise be missed. 1. Encourages adaptability. In today's rapidly changing world, adaptability is a critical skill. The ability to pivot, adjust, and change direction in response to shifting circumstances is essential for success in both personal and professional life. Embracing uncertainty allows you to be more open to new information, ideas, and approaches, making it easier to adjust when things don't go according to plan. Example: in the business world, companies that are rigid in their approach often struggle when market conditions change. Those that are willing to embrace uncertainty and innovate, such as by pivoting to new markets or offering new products, are more likely to survive and thrive in unpredictable environments. 2. Enhances problem-solving skills. When faced with uncertainty, we are forced to use our creativity and problem-solving abilities. Uncertainty pushes us to think outside the box, consider new angles, and come up with innovative solutions. The discomfort of not knowing the outcome can spark new ways of thinking and lead to breakthrough ideas. Example: consider the world of technology. Many of the most successful tech innovations were born out of uncertainty, whether it's the development of new software, devices, or platforms. Innovators often have to make decisions with incomplete information, adapting and iterating as they go along. 3. builds resilience. Learning to manage uncertainty builds mental and emotional resilience. The more we experience and embrace uncertainty, the better we become at managing stress, handling setbacks, and staying focused on our goals. Instead of being derailed by challenges, we learn to weather the storm and keep moving forward, knowing that we can handle whatever comes our way. Example: entrepreneurs often face uncertainty in the early stages of their businesses. They may not know if their product will succeed or how they will overcome financial challenges. However, by embracing uncertainty, they develop resilience, the ability to keep trying and adapting despite obstacles. 4. Promotes long-term growth. When we resist uncertainty, we often limit ourselves to what is familiar and safe, missing out on opportunities for growth. Embracing uncertainty, on the other hand, forces us to step out of our comfort zones and explore new possibilities. This process of pushing ourselves beyond what is known can lead to long-term personal and professional development. Example: a person who chooses to stay in a job or relationship because it feels safe may avoid the discomfort of uncertainty, but they may also miss out on opportunities for growth, new experiences, or self-discovery. By embracing the unknown, they open themselves up to possibilities that could lead to greater fulfillment and success. How to embrace uncertainty in decision-making. So, how do we embrace uncertainty in a productive and healthy way? The key lies in developing a mindset that accepts the unknown, takes calculated risks, and adapts to changing circumstances. Below are strategies to help you navigate uncertainty and use it to your advantage in decision-making. 1. Shift your perspective on uncertainty. One of the first steps in embracing uncertainty is to change the way you perceive it. Rather than seeing uncertainty as something to be feared, try to view it as an opportunity for growth and discovery. Embrace the idea that you don't need to have all the answers up front. This shift in perspective will allow you to approach uncertainty with curiosity rather than anxiety. How to shift your perspective. Reframe the unknown. Instead of focusing on the fear of making the wrong choice, focus on the excitement of exploring new possibilities. Uncertainty can open doors to new experiences and unexpected rewards. Accept that life is unpredictable. Understand that uncertainty is a natural part of life. No decision is ever 100% certain, and that's okay. Embrace the fact that not everything is under your control. 2. Focus on what you can control. In uncertain situations, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the things outside of your control. The key to managing uncertainty is to focus on what you can control: your actions, your mindset, and your responses to challenges. When you shift your focus to the things you can influence, you'll feel more empowered and capable of navigating uncertainty. How to focus on what you can control. Identify controllable factors. Ask yourself, what elements of this situation can I control? It could be how you respond to uncertainty, the steps you take to gather more information, or the actions you take to mitigate risk. Take actionable steps. Once you've identified what you can control, take deliberate steps to move forward. Even small actions can help you feel more in control and reduce the stress of uncertainty. 3. Build emotional resilience. Uncertainty often triggers strong emotions: fear, anxiety, frustration, and doubt. Learning to manage these emotions is crucial to making clear-headed decisions in uncertain situations. By building emotional resilience, you can maintain your composure and make decisions with confidence, even when faced with the unknown. How to build emotional resilience. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness techniques, such as deep breathing, meditation, and grounding exercises, can help you stay calm and focused during uncertain times. These practices allow you to detach from overwhelming emotions and approach decisions with clarity. Reframe negative emotions. When feelings of fear or anxiety arise, try to reframe them as signals for growth and adaptation. For example, instead of seeing fear as a barrier, view it as a natural response to stepping outside your comfort zone. Cultivate self-compassion. Be kind to yourself in moments of uncertainty. Understand that it's okay to not have all the answers and that you're doing the best you can. Self-compassion can help you reduce anxiety and stay grounded during times of change. 4. Take small, calculated risks. When uncertainty looms, it can be tempting to avoid making decisions altogether. However, avoiding risks altogether can lead to stagnation. Instead, try taking small, calculated risks. By starting with manageable steps, you can test your assumptions, gather feedback, and adjust your approach as needed. Small risks provide valuable learning experiences without overwhelming you. How to take calculated risks. Start small. Don't try to make a huge change all at once. Begin with a small experiment or a pilot version of your decision to test the waters. Analyze the risks. Before taking a risk, evaluate the potential consequences. What's the worst-case scenario? What's the best-case scenario? By understanding the potential outcomes, you can make more informed decisions. Monitor progress. As you take risks, monitor the results and adjust your strategy if necessary. This allows you to learn and adapt quickly, while minimizing potential losses. 5. Accept failure as part of the process. One of the greatest fears associated with uncertainty is failure. However, failure is an inevitable part of life and a key component of the learning process. By accepting failure as a natural and valuable part of growth, you can embrace uncertainty with a sense of resilience and curiosity rather than fear. How to accept failure. Reframe failure. Instead of viewing failure as a sign of incompetence, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Every failure contains valuable insights that can guide your next decision. Learn from your mistakes. Reflect on what went wrong and use that information to make better decisions moving forward. Failure is not the end. It's part of the iterative process of making better choices. Chapter 10. Learn from every decision you make. The power of reflection in decision-making. In life, every decision we make, whether large or small, offers an opportunity for growth. However, most of us focus so much on the results of our decisions that we overlook the valuable insights that can be gleaned from the process itself. Whether a decision turns out well or not, there are always lessons to be learned. It's through reflection and learning from our decisions that we develop the wisdom needed to make better, more informed choices in the future. This chapter is dedicated to helping you build the habit of learning from every decision you make. By embracing the power of reflection, you can develop a deeper understanding of your decision-making process, identify patterns in your behavior, and improve your ability to make rational, thoughtful choices. Why we must learn from our decisions. Learning from our decisions is essential because it allows us to refine our decision-making skills over time. Every choice we make, whether it leads to success or failure, holds valuable lessons that contribute to our growth. By regularly reflecting on our decisions and their outcomes, we develop the self-awareness and insight needed to avoid repeating mistakes and to replicate our successes. Here's why learning from every decision is so important. Improvement through experience. The more we reflect on our choices, the better we become at making decisions in the future. Just like any other skill, decision-making improves with practice. The key is to learn from both the positive and negative outcomes. Avoiding repetition of mistakes. If we don't reflect on our decisions, we risk making the same mistakes repeatedly. Reflection helps us identify patterns in our thinking, behaviors, and emotional responses that may be hindering our ability to make good choices. Increased self-awareness. Reflecting on your decisions increases your self-awareness, allowing you to recognize your biases, preferences, and emotional triggers. With this understanding, you can approach future decisions with greater clarity and objectivity. Confidence in future decisions. Learning from past decisions gives you a sense of competence. When you recognize that every decision, whether successful or not, is an opportunity to learn, you can approach future choices with more confidence and less fear of failure. The ability to learn from every decision is what separates effective decision-makers from those who remain stuck in the same patterns of indecision or error. It's not just about what happens, but about how you process the experience and use it to refine your approach to future decisions. How to reflect on your decisions. Effective reflection doesn't happen automatically. It requires intentionality and commitment. The goal is not to ruminate on past mistakes or successes, but to objectively analyze the decision-making process itself, what worked, what didn't, and how you can do better next time. Below are key steps to help you reflect effectively on your decisions. 1. Take time to pause and reflect. In our fast-paced world, it's easy to move from one decision to the next without taking the time to pause and reflect on what just happened. Reflection requires intentional time to step back and evaluate your choices. This can be difficult when we're busy or when the decision has an immediate impact, but taking a moment to pause is crucial for learning. How to pause and reflect. Create time for reflection. Set aside regular times in your day or week to reflect on your decisions. This could be at the end of the day, during a weekly review, or at the end of a significant project or event. Ask yourself key questions. After each decision, take a moment to ask yourself, what was the decision I made? Why did I make it? How did I feel at the time? What were the outcomes, both positive and negative? What did I learn from this decision? By making time for reflection, you ensure that you're not just moving through life without pausing to learn from your experiences. 2. Objectively evaluate the outcomes. Once you've taken the time to pause, the next step is to objectively evaluate the outcomes of your decision. This involves looking at the results without judgment or emotional attachment. It's essential to separate your feelings about the decision from the actual consequences of your actions. How to evaluate outcomes. Be honest with yourself. Take a clear, honest look at the results of your decision. What worked well? What didn't? Did you achieve the goals you set out to accomplish? Identify both positive and negative outcomes. Even if your decision was successful, there are always lessons to be learned. Likewise, if the results were less than ideal, ask yourself what you could have done differently. Be objective and avoid self-criticism. Reflecting is not about beating yourself up over mistakes. Instead, approach the process with curiosity and a growth mindset. Focus on the lessons rather than the errors. 3. Examine your decision-making process. Evaluating the outcomes of a decision is important, but it's equally important to reflect on the process that led you to that decision. How did you arrive at the conclusion? What influenced your thinking? Did you follow a logical process, or were your emotions, assumptions, or biases at play? How to examine your decision-making process. Look at your decision-making steps. Review how you approached the decision. Did you gather sufficient information? Did you consider all options? Did you evaluate the pros and cons objectively? Identify cognitive biases. We all have biases that can distort our thinking. For example, confirmation bias might have led you to favor information that supported your initial opinion, or emotional bias could have influenced your decision to avoid discomfort. Recognize these biases and examine how they may have shaped your choices. Assess your emotional state. Emotions often play a significant role in decision-making. Were your emotions influencing the decision? If so, did they lead you to make a choice that was more impulsive than rational? By examining your decision-making process, you can pinpoint areas for improvement, whether it's gathering more information, staying calm under pressure, or making sure emotions don't dictate your actions. 4. Look for patterns in your decision-making. Another key to effective reflection is identifying patterns in your decision-making. This could include recurring triggers, biases, or strategies that influence the way you approach decisions. Over time, patterns reveal not only how you make decisions, but also where your strengths and weaknesses lie. How to identify patterns. Keep a decision journal. Write down significant decisions you make, including the reasoning behind them, the emotions involved, and the outcomes. Over time, you'll be able to spot recurring themes in your thinking and behavior. Look for recurring mistakes. Are there particular types of decisions you consistently struggle with? Maybe you tend to make emotional decisions when it comes to relationships, or perhaps you find it hard to take calculated risks in your career. Identifying these patterns allows you to address them more effectively in the future. Celebrate successes. Just as it's important to learn from mistakes, it's equally important to recognize what went right. Reflect on the decisions that led to positive outcomes. What strategies or thought processes can you replicate next time? 5. Make adjustments and refine your process. Once you've reflected on your decisions and identified areas for improvement, it's time to make adjustments. The goal is not just to reflect, but to integrate the lessons into your future decision-making process. This is where the real growth happens. How to adjust your process. Implement small changes. Based on your reflections, start making small adjustments to your decision-making process. This might include setting aside more time for evaluation, seeking out more information before making a choice, or learning to manage your emotions better. Track your progress. Keep an eye on how these adjustments are impacting your decisions. Are you making more thoughtful choices? Are you avoiding common mistakes? Revisit past decisions. Reflect on the changes you've made in your decision-making process and look back at past decisions. Do you notice improvements? Are you making better choices as a result? By making adjustments to your process, you ensure that you continue improving your decision-making ability. This ongoing refinement is key to becoming a more rational, thoughtful, and confident decision-maker. The role of feedback in learning from decisions. While self-reflection is a powerful tool, seeking feedback from others can also provide valuable insights into your decision-making process. External perspectives can help you identify blind spots, point out patterns you may have missed, and offer constructive criticism. How to seek feedback. Ask trusted individuals. Seek feedback from mentors, colleagues, friends, or family who can offer an honest, objective assessment of your decisions. These individuals can provide a fresh perspective and help you see things from a different angle. Be open to criticism. Feedback can sometimes be difficult to hear, especially if it challenges your thinking. However, being open to constructive criticism is an essential part of learning. Embrace feedback as an opportunity for growth, not as a personal attack. Use feedback to refine your approach. Incorporate the feedback you receive into your decision-making process. This can help you improve areas where you might be overlooking important factors or reinforcing biases. The importance of self-compassion in reflection. Learning from your decisions can be an emotional process, especially when the outcomes are less than ideal. Self-compassion is key to maintaining a healthy relationship with your decision-making. Rather than judging yourself harshly for mistakes or failures, practice kindness and understanding. How to practice self-compassion. Acknowledge the difficulty. Recognize that making decisions can be hard and that everyone makes mistakes. It's a natural part of being human. Be kind to yourself. Instead of focusing on self-blame or guilt, treat yourself with the same compassion that you would offer a friend in a similar situation. Focus on growth, not perfection. Remind yourself that the goal is not to make perfect decisions every time, but to continue learning and growing from each experience. By practicing self-compassion, you create a healthier and more productive relationship with your decisions. This mindset allows you to reflect without getting stuck in negativity, ultimately helping you move forward with greater confidence. Conclusion. Embrace the journey of continuous improvement. Every decision you make, whether it leads to success or failure, is an opportunity to learn. By embracing the power of reflection, you can develop a deeper understanding of your decision-making process, refine your approach, and continue to grow as a person. Learning from your decisions is not a one-time activity. It is a lifelong journey of growth and self-improvement. By pausing to reflect on your choices, evaluating the outcomes, identifying patterns, and seeking feedback, you ensure that every decision becomes a stepping stone toward greater wisdom and better decision-making. Ultimately, this process allows you to navigate life with clarity, confidence, and a deeper understanding of what it means to make decisions that are aligned with your goals and values. In the next chapter, we'll explore how trusting your rational mind can further empower your decision-making process, helping you build confidence in the choices you make.